From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
Let it move you. Let it move. Let it move you. Yeah, I choose. Let it move you. Let it move. Let it move you.
It's Wednesday, May 22nd, 2018, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, Eddie Big Cat Koffels.
Yes, Cameron, it's nice to see you.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, our newest cast member, author, speaker, podcaster extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents. Appreciate that intro.
She was like visibly taken aback by the term extraordinaire.
Like,
No.
what? Well, I've never thought myself.
I
I've never guessed. Happy
I
to
was
be
waiting
here.
on you to say all the way from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Excited to be here. We're actually, can I do the announcement now?
Yeah, what?
7 shows a week. We're going to be doing 7 Relevant podcasts a week. We're going to be doing a 7-hour.
Two a day. Because this is football. It's high school
Can I-
football status. 2 days.
Can I share my favorite
day.
burn tweet of the week?
Yes,
And
please.
Because we have heard a resounding amount of positive feedback about the 2 shows a week.
Yeah,
So much
they're
so.
shorter, they're more digestible, you get to the good guests quicker.
Right.
You know, a lot of people like it.
Because when I heard we were going to do shows, my basic reaction was, well, who cares? I mean,
Yeah.
fine, you're great.
Instead
You
of
do
one
whatever you want.
2.5 hour show, let's do 2 hour shows.
Yeah, it's still the same math,
Yeah.
basically. Someone took the time to tweet, I can't listen to the show anymore.
Right.
It's too much. 2 in a week, it's just throwing off my chi. To that, I
No,
said...
he said no, throwing off his Saturdays.
Throwing off his Saturdays.
Because there's 2 waiting for him on Saturday.
Right. Of the same length. So
of the
1
same
plus
length.
1 equals 2, but
Right.
I understand.
And so, but the idea of listening to the 2 hour podcast on Saturday,
Yeah.
he can't wrap his head around listening to 2 1 hour podcasts on Saturday.
And I understand. I subscribe and unsubscribe from shows all the time.
Sure.
But he tweeted about it,
It
but
may
I just
be
wanted
the
to say...
pressure of having one sitting there from Wednesday to Saturday. That is pressure. The person who doesn't have any red numbers on their iPhone, who doesn't have any notifications waiting on them, they like to clear everything out. He may just be a clearer.
Okay,
Well,
so
that sounds like a personal problem to me.
For me, I'm just saying...
That sounds like it's sort of like podcast OCD that we can help you get out of.
That's right.
So, yeah.
We need to get you out of your comfort zone, weirdo. Just listen to 2 back to back, just like you normally did, and nothing changed for you.
And
nothing.
you can like, hey, this guest doesn't sound as exciting as the other guest.
Yeah.
You can skip that episode.
Man, y'all are really giving it to this one guy who tweeted, but he already unsubscribed, so he's not listening. So.
No, man, he didn't know.
No, but that's my theory.
It's like we can make fun of the Amish.
That's-
They won't know.
No, that's my theory. He's listening. Oh, he's listening. He'll hear this. That's
You
what I'm
think he's
saying.
listening?
Oh, yes.
He just
If he's listening, I
unsubscribed.
want
He's
him to
still gonna
tell
go and
us.
look.
Is it like a kid acting out because they want attention? Is that why you went through that whole tweet?
I'm
What's
just
your
saying,
theory?
7 shows a week. This
7
is what we're
shows a
doing.
week.
I like
You
the
either
2
love
a days
us-
idea, Jesse.
You either love us or you leave us, but we're doing 7. You're welcome, because that is the most holy number. Amen. And
Yeah, this is the, we said at the beginning of the month we were going to experiment with the format change this month.
Yes.
To see if it connected, to see if it felt good here, if we enjoyed it, if y'all enjoyed it. So I guess after this week, we'll assess whether or not we're going to go back to the old format or keep going with this one. But my hunch is,
my vote is yes. I love it.
Let's keep going.
I think it's great. I like more digestible
Yeah, me
little
too.
pieces of it.
Well, and think about even the guests who join us. Like when we would have 2 on the previous format, you know, it would be difficult for one of the guests to tweet it out to even their followers to go, "Hey, I'm on this week's show." Fast forward to an hour 53, you know, if
right.
you want to hear me. So now it's just like, yeah, I'm the guest on this episode, and there's some other stuff too, but it's not like an hour and a half of other stuff. You know.
By the way, any guests who have done that have been blacklisted and will never be on the show again.
They will never.
They go to fast forward. So
I am on the 6th hour of a very special Relevant podcast. That's what they get.
We have a great show coming up for you today. We talked to movie star, TV star, Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, yes.
That's coming up from Parks and Rec and many others. She's on the cover of the current issue of Relevant. If you've read that article, what you will hear today is part of that conversation, but some new stuff too. So,
I love that she has broken out from the Parks and Rec world, and it's just like, she's like a bona fide movie star.
One of the part of what we talked to her about in our piece is, you know, the kind of the national conversation around mental health that's happening right now. Her show and her character that she's currently in really is, part of that conversation. It's really interesting how she's making that part of her acting career.
Cool.
So yeah. Well, we're recording the this week at a slightly different time because last night, very, very, very late, Jesse and I both returned from Montana. We were somewhat off the grid.
Yes.
Out in the wilderness. Not really, but I mean, we were out in Montana the last few days recharging, and immediately with 2 hours into work this morning, Jesse just said, "Well, it was all undone." Like he's already just as stressed.
Hey, Cameron, what time did your plane get in last night?
I went straight to bed when I got home, and it was 12:30 when I laid down. So
that's totally fine.
I don't know.
I'm still playing Fortnite at 12:30. No big deal.
Mine was 2. I think I went to bed 2:15.
No, really, Jesse.
I had a delay. I had to delay out of Atlanta. And you know what really got me about the delay? And this is why. And I all fair, I
You're
apologize.
turning into Andy Rooney.
I love him.
I was
love
very
him.
salty when I answered this call to all three of you and Chandler in a way that was totally unnecessary. And part of it, I'm still steaming over this pilot last night. Okay? Here's the thing.
Give it to us.
Your job isn't comedy, pilot. Your job is to get me to my destination at the time that it says on the ticket. Okay? Yeah. If that's not possible, don't offset with jokes. This isn't a time for joking. This is a serious time that you're telling me that you're not going to be able to perform your job as I paid for it. It's not stand-up comedy hour. You know what I mean? And to my fellow passengers who are laughing, egging him on when he was making jokes about this delay, shame on you. Shame on you, people. Don't give this guy the credit. He's not a comedian. I didn't pay for jokes.
Were you on a Southwest flight?
You're enabling him.
No, I was on Delta. And I expect better from Delta.
Yeah,
than
I was on Delta.
Amateur hour at Chuckles.
Yeah, I was serious. It's not very Delta.
I was on Delta and had a pilot. I got upgraded to first, and the pilot, I've never seen this happen before. He came throughout the first class cabin and leaned his elbow on each, on the seat right there, and just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
He introduced himself. He said, "I'm glad you're flying with us. Just want to thank you. When we land in Orlando, it'll be 80 degrees and slightly raining. And I just want you to know we're going to have a smooth trip, and welcome aboard. Thank you so much."
And
I was like, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Pilot."
Captain, as a follow-up, I have some questions about aeronautical law. Number one, what jurisdiction are we in when we're at our cruising altitude? That's question number one.
Jesse,
is there a jail
how
on the plane?
delayed were you? Like, did he keep coming back and saying?
He had to repeat second grade.
It was the same thing. It was like, just waiting for a little update from the flight deck. In the meantime, we will be taxiing here. And because of thunderstorms, just letting you know, drink service will be discontinued in favor of water this evening. By the way, what's the best thing? And it's like, no, stop there. Just stop there. You deliver the bad news. Don't offset it with, don't workshop new material on us here, sir. Just let me here's the other thing. Like, I'm trying to watch a TV show. It's the least I can do to take my mind off of how tired I am and how frustrated I am at this delay. Yeah. And I'm trying to watch a TV show. When he breaks in over the intercom and pauses and it takes over. It's like, I'm watching Curb, okay? I'm catching up on Curb, and you're interrupting legitimate comedy for your fake comedy.
Ding, surface interruption.
You know why there's not an option on the Delta little display of things to watch that says pilot stand-up comedy? Because no one wants that. No one wants it. We have a bevy of entertainment choices, none of which is pilots performing stand-up.
You are salty.
You are really. He also came in. But so what's funny to me is I actually think that the problem is this, because Jesse just came with jokes. He just had a whole little run that I think was basically workshopped in his mind before he said it.
And it was hilarious. This is all.
There's
I'm
no
trying to figure.
stand-up
I know.
comedy.
You know what Eddie was?
Punchline.
I was uncharacteristically mean to you guys, and I was trying in my mind just sound like, why am I this mean?
I think it was very characteristic, and I will also say, I think that the problem with the pilot is that he wasn't funny, because I think, Jesse, if you had been the pilot and been up there and been able to really land some good jokes, you would have loved you. The problem is very few people are as funny as you. And I hate to say that, and I would like that not to ever be quoted or remembered.
But to that point there. Okay, so this trip we were on, we invited some friends, some artists, musicians, creatives, and stuff.
Ding! I'm gonna stop here. Pause your story right there, and just let you know that there is a rain delay happening. And
one of the guys who was on the trip was named. One of the guys on the trip was Trent Dabbs from Sugar and the Hi-Lows.
Okay,
a prolific songwriter, performer. He, Casey Musgrave's current hit "High Horse," he wrote that.
Yeah,
so
it's classic Trent.
He is If you don't know Trent
He's
Dabbs, he
funny.
is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
No
voices, riffs. He's hilarious.
He does voices.
Dude, his
I feel like in a
characters that he
social
slips
setting,
into.
that's just inappropriate.
No. When he slips into characters, it is some of the funniest stuff. The stories he tells, oh, man, crazy.
Jesse,
Dying
did you
laughing.
think he was funny?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I love me.
Yeah.
Me and Trent were fishing mates for
Yeah,
2
they
days.
were on a
We
boat
spent-
together for a couple days.
We spent probably, I don't know, 13, 14 hours just
What kind of
just
voices?
the two of us.
Oh, yeah, we'll have him on. We will have
Yeah,
Trent
we'll,
on the
we'll
show.
have him on.
Yeah,
But
he's
listen,
funny.
so Trent sits down. We sit down at breakfast the last day, and Jesse hadn't gotten to the table yet, or they had ridden into the restaurant together. And Trent sits down next to me and he goes, "Man, I'm telling you, Jesse Carey is probably the funniest person I've ever met in my life." And I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I've been doing a podcast with him for 10 years. It's like,
I gotta say, I'm
Trent
feeling,
Dabbs to say that, Jess. That's a big
I
deal.
know.
I'm feeling
I
pretty
think that's
com-
very high praise from him. And,
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty
all
competitive
the
at this
reason
moment.
more, this pilot. If this pilot sees my
It's like,
name
it's
on
a
the
kind
flight
of funny.
directory, they just don't bring material to this guy. This guy just got an endorsement from Trent Dabbs. I don't need the pilot. I don't go to him. Okay, I don't go to him and say, "Hey, let me give you some tips on flying a plane and landing one." Do you know why? Because I don't do that professionally, and it would be ridiculous. It would be a ridiculous thing for me to do.
I think that some people, I think that when you listen to Relevant, I think people come for like the same reason they came to Friends, right? It's like you're either like a Ross guy and you think like he's really funny because he'll take the cheap, easy joke, or you're going to really want a thinker, you know? Like,
you're a Chandler guy?
I think so. Yeah. I think, I think you got, and then of course, like you're Rachel, Annie is Rachel and Monica. And
She does have Rachel's haircut right now.
Okay.
You are rocking the sculpted around the face haircut.
Okay, everybody. Listen, do you know what story I need to tell y'all? Do y'all know I delayed a plane last week for 1 hour, Jesse?
You personally?
Literally, I personally accidentally delayed an entire plane for an hour.
Was it?
How
what did
this
you
happen?
do?
How did
You
this
can't say bomb on a plane,
transpire?
Annie.
It's bad. So I had a carry-on that had a charger in it.
Oh,
and
no.
I've never
a
used it
smart
before.
bag. You had a smart bag?
A smart bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never used it before. We're getting on a tiny plane. There's only like 40 people. It's Delta. And the guy says, you have to take the battery out.
Yeah.
And I said, I didn't know this had a battery.
And you
well,
think
I
it's
have
a joke
first generation.
because it's Delta.
Oh, you have the first generation one that doesn't come out.
Exactly.
But
Can't
the
remember.
new away bags, you can just pop it right out, no problem.
Yeah, I got one
Yeah.
that it just pops right out.
But
It's
the
great.
first one, they're built in.
apparently,
And a
Annie-
lot of airlines are banning those now because,
Yeah.
lithium batteries could
You're-
explode.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm on the way to that high school graduation in Louisiana, and they won't let me on the plane. We can't get the battery out. They have to call over security. Finally, they let everyone's on the plane. They let me on the plane with the bag because they're just going to find a place on the plane that it can fly with us because it can fly in the cabin.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we can't find a place for it. I mean, y'all, everyone is sitting and everyone's mad.
Do they know it's you, or are they being discreet? Are people?
Oh, there's no question it's me because I have status. Dang it. And I'm in the front row of this tiny plane.
Yeah.
And so they know they're waiting on my bag.
Yeah.
And here's when the other time they figured it out, Eddie, is when the flight attendant went on the intercom and said, "Can anyone bring us a screwdriver or a nail file?" And a guy yells out from the back, "You're not allowed to have those on a plane."
Does anyone have a little tiny gun or
Don't
machete?
answer. It's a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I am sweating like y'all cannot believe. I'm I'm freaking out because the whole plane's waiting for us to get the battery out of my little carry-on. Finally, I mean, my suitcase is open on the floor of the plane.
No.
And a guy from the back brings up his nail clippers and all my clothes. Can we just say that without all my clothes?
no.
Everything you wouldn't want a stranger to touch, he's touching.
You got moo-moos
because he
in
has
there.
to move it all around to
Yeah.
get to the battery. And the plane's just sitting there. And I finally say to the lady, just give me the dress I need for graduation and throw the suitcase away. I don't need anything else in it.
Yeah.
You can just, and she said, well, ma'am, once you're on the plane with a bag, we can't let the bag off the plane without you.
Oh no.
There's a lot of
Right.
arbitrary rules to
There
this
really
type of
is.
thing,
There's
isn't there?
so many rules. There's so many rules. So the guy, this strong LSU guy, finally gets the
Oh, my.
thing out. He gets the battery out.
Tell us more.
We close it up. We get it all settled. And they close the door of the plane. Everyone claps when they got the battery out, y'all. Everyone claps. So literally everyone knows why we're sitting there.
Oh, Annie.
Everyone claps. We close the suitcase and then we just keep sitting there. And I leaned forward to this flight attendant. I said, is this somehow my fault too? And she said, I'm not going to tell everyone, but yes.
100%.
Why? And she said, we were leaving the Atlanta airport. She said that you only have certain windows when you can leave. And because of your bag, we missed our window.
Oh, gosh.
So we have to wait for the next window in 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
I mean, everyone hated me. Everyone hated me. No one would look at me.
Yeah, the first version of
Well,
those
how-
away bags would tick.
Have you kept in touch with the strong LSU guy?
Yeah.
They would
Yeah,
Tell us
listen,
more
I
about
did
him.
say if he wasn't LSU, here's what's true about my life. I've got like 2 ex-boyfriends and a plane full of people I hope I never see again. And that's about it in my whole world. I just don't ever want to see any of them ever again.
What happened with the 2 ex-boyfriends?
It just don't ever, there's just some I don't ever want to see again.
Strong LSU
So,
guy,
and
huh?
the plane of people.
I sat next to
Oh,
a guy
wow.
on my flight out of, it might have been out of Billings to Salt Lake City. And we were in the exit row, right? And they got to come over and do the whole presentation. You know, it's a whole thing about, you're basically locking into a verbal contract that if something happens, you'll open the door, right?
Right.
And it's
I
a
don't
whole
sit there.
thing.
I don't want everybody's lives in my hands. I hate that row.
So I'm sitting there, and next to me is a guy. He's got to be 80, and he's wearing a sweet Western shirt. He looks like a guy who'd be flying from Billings to Salt Lake City. Let's just say that.
He walks in with nothing, right? He has no bag. He just sits down, right?
He just,
A big old
he's
belt
just
buckle.
sitting there,
That's all he
and
needs.
he's reading a sweet cowboy novel that looks
Yes.
like it's 45 years old,
Like
and
a
has
Louis
been
Lamar.
under the seat of a pickup truck for
Yes,
most of
yes.
the life of the novel.
This is the book he reads.
And he's reading it.
Yeah.
It's called like something like Captured the Wind, and it has these sweet cowboys on the front. I was pretty
Yeah.
intrigued by it. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
he's sitting there. Lady comes over, and all of us are looking at her because it's like 4 rows in the exit rows, and she's addressing us all, looking at eye contact. He does not lift his eyes up from the book at all, even though she's like raising her voice to get his attention at all. He does not care one iota about this presentation. Then she goes, I'm going to need verbal yeses from all of you that you are willing to follow these instructions. So she goes around everyone. Everyone's like, yes, 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 yes. Goes to the old man next to me. He stares her in the eye and slightly nods his head and intentionally not giving the verbal yes. And he just kind of looks over at everyone like, yeah, that's right. I'm not even going to dignify this request with a yes. She goes, and then she looks right at him. She goes, a verbal yes, sir. And literally it was this. And it was a grunt. It was a grunt that I assume was him saying, yes, I agree. But legally, I think
French
she had to
fried
get a
taters.
verbal yes. And she goes, sir, a verbal yes. And this is literally what he said. K. Not even okay,
gosh.
just the letter K, and then
Which
return
is
to
the
his book.
rudest.
Then return to his book, and I'm like, this guy's a pro. This guy, I'm glad I'm sitting
Yeah.
next to this guy. You know,
Yeah.
He was just a real hero move. Just a real hero move.
Man, you can't ever use K. K is the worst response for anything. You
Yeah.
can't.
I like Koo.
Retired.
K-O-O. Koo. Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
Speaking of cowboys, for a couple of days, we pretended like we were cowboys. You know, we went fishing and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
Except you tied a bandana around your neck like a hipster.
it
It was
no.
mostly a chaps-based kind of trip.
It was chilly, FYI, and that was for wind purposes.
Oh.
Now I understand why cowboys wear them, for dust and wind. But anyway,
And,
prefer to call them
and
cow
at one
people.
point, Cameron did say someone else made a comment about it, and Cameron said, "I forgot I had
Thanks,
this on," and then removed it.
that's true. It's actually true.
But it was actually like a beautiful,
Glad you were there,
long
Jesse.
printed silk scarf. That's all you had, and it actually functioned more as an ascot than anything else.
to be fair, it had Southwestern style paisleys, and it was one of several that I brought and lent to several of the guys.
And
So
he had a turquoise ring on
it
each
was from your
finger.
personal collection.
Turquoise ring and a bolo. Keep going.
One of my favorite. We ended up. It was just a lot of fun. I mean, we've talked about it over the years. The same trip that we did last year, but
Yeah.
on the last day that we were there, one of the other guys on the trip is also on our Hood to Coast team. He signed up for the Hood to Coast race and was there on the trip with us. So Jesse and he were training. You know, I'm still in the early stages of training. It's painful every step, every day level of training. These guys are like run marathons sort of guys. And so the first day they went on a 5-mile run. I slept in. The second day they were like, that felt so good. Let's do 7, you know? So they did 7 and I'm like, I'll go, but drop me off at 2.5 and I'll run back, you know?
Right. And I'm going to be wearing an ascot the whole time.
A lovely scarf trailing in the wind. It's just beautiful. But they encountered, tell them what happened on your run.
Yeah, so we decided, we had one of the guys, we said, hey, drive us up to that top of that mountain, drive 7 miles to the top of that mountain. We hit the 7 mile mark on the odometer, let us out. And Cameron on the way there was
run
like,
back down it?
yeah, we're going to run back down it. We're going to run back to the lodge or whatever. And Cameron, we dropped him off 2.5 miles in so that he could still get his run in. And so we're coming down, we ran down the mountain. We are 6 miles into our 7 mile run when we see a pickup truck coming down the road pretty quickly and like kind of slam on the brakes a little when they see us. And they're like, hey, have any of you guys seen Cameron? And it's one of the guys from the lodge. And we're like, no, we've been on this road for the last 6 miles. And he was on the same road, but just going from where we were to the lodge. I'm like, has he not showed up yet? They're like, he's not showed up anywhere. No one knows where he is. And
what
we've
did
been
you
driving
tell them what you just encountered right before that?
It was a series of turquoise rings every 50 feet leading
up to
into
that.
a cave
Okay,
where there was a bloody scarf hanging.
I should say the day before on a 5 mile run, we were running down the road and there was like a coyote standing in the middle of the road. Like
Which is
staring
nothing more
at
than a
us.
dog.
What's that?
A little
cool.
different.
From what I understand about coyotes, they're just dogs with different names.
They're dogs
Yeah,
that
exactly.
attack everything and will viciously kill.
Well,
And we were playing
right.
like he was
Tomato,
down to the end of the road just staring at us, daring to move. So me and another guy were just standing there playing stare down with this coyote till luckily some gentleman on a 4-wheeler came and like chased him off. And so we but that was in the back of our mind. We're concerned about coyotes. So during the stretch of our run where we're encountering the beginning of Cameron's route, right? So when we only have like 2.5 miles left, we're running along, and out of like this ranch yard comes a pit bull, like just bolting out.
And there's no fence or anything. It's just
What?
now pit
straight
bulls
up.
are just like coyotes.
Yeah. So this
They're
pit
just
bull,
dogs with different names.
Boom.
and I'm with 2 other guys, and one of the guys decided the best defense mechanism is just to sprint and
100%.
create distance between him and the pit bull. One of the guys jumps in this huge ditch and arms himself with a stick and a rock in both hands.
True. Yeah, he went
For some
weapon. What
reason-
did you do, Jesse?
For some reason, my instinct was to dance and start juking the dog, as if I could mesmerize him with my
Jesse.
footwork. And I'm like dancing side to side like this. I'm going, hey.
So one guy is gone. The other guy is armed in the ditch. And Jesse's
One
left
guy
in
is
the middle.
long gone.
Just
One guy is long gone. One guy is armed, and I'm sitting there dancing like an
He's
idiot
like
while this pit bull is barking at me.
grapevine, pot of
Yeah.
beret or whatever it's called. He's
Is
just
there-
dancing.
Is there like a collar on the pit? I mean,
No
they're like
collar. No
we're
collar.
wild pit bulls,
we're in,
right?
We're in Indian reservation, Crow territory. There's no laws out there. There's no collars.
Yeah. And so I'm dancing
There's
in the middle of the
laws,
road.
Cameron.
I'm
There's no
dancing in the
laws.
middle of the road with this pit bull. And thankfully, the guy who armed himself came over. He's much more of a heroic character than I am. He came running at the dog with the stick and the rock, and it ended up scaring the dog. And I just sprinted away. That guy can fend for himself. He has a stick and a rock at this point. But I'm
is
shaking.
that guy funny?
I'm like, dude, we almost got attacked by a dog here. We went running. Another dog ran out of a yard, started nipping at us, and we started running away from it. And he joined the run for the rest of the 2 miles, literally nipping at our heels for 2 straight miles.
Cameron's
Cameron,
in a room though.
Were you like sprinting?
yeah, I mean, the dog is running with us, nipping the whole way. So when the truck comes, I'm like, I'm not dealing with this dog anymore, man. And I jumped in the truck, and I was like, we need a search party for Cameron. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Before I jump to conclusions here, he's probably just back at the house and they missed him. So I went up there and I was like, hey, Cameron. I looked in all the rooms. He's not there. I'm getting a little concerned. The other guys show up and we're like, dude, Cameron hasn't showed up. We've covered the territory from here from the house. We only have one conclusion. Cameron has been eaten by that pit bull or a coyote.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's gone. He's either up a tree hiding, in which case it's not safe for us to go get him down at this point. We got to wait till nightfall and the dogs clear out. Or
And then
he's
from
been
the
eaten. There's
distance,
nothing we
you
can
hear
do.
Liza Minnelli's greatest hits playing, and you're like, there he is.
Yeah.
No, what happened was as we're driving to the drop off point, and again, I'm only on week 1.5 of having to train from literally never run more than a mile in my life to the Hood to Coast race. So
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
every step is painful, and we're in Montana, and like the air's thin, and it's just a different thing, and I'm just struggling. So we're running, and as we're driving out to the drop off point, I'm going, there's no way this is 2.5 miles. This is so much farther than 2.5 miles. I'm just going, no, I'm like psychologically just intimidated. and I'm running. Okay. So I'm going back and I know the route. I mean, it's just straight highway and then there's the lodge, right? But I know the, there's the Orvis Lodge right before it. So I was kind of like always watching for the Orvis Lodge going, okay, then that means I'm almost there and it's the next driveway, right? And I don't know if it was like, I was like 2 miles in or whatever. And I was really struggling. I was like, so like this road is really long and I'm just trying to like make it through and I'm looking down more, looking down on my feet, I'm just like I'm like concentrating on my breathing and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not, anyway.
It's hard to run in cowboy boots.
And then I like make it around the bend. And then like, there's this another really long stretch of road. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I made the joke to these guys before they dropped me off. I'm going, okay. Cause the day before they were running, they're like, oh, we were casually jogging and chatting the whole way. Oh, we were only running like a 9.5 minute mile pace. And I'm like, 9.5 minute miles. I'm running like 12.5 minute miles and I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm not even actually running for all of those minutes.
Yeah, and so like, and then I'm going, guys, if you guys run like 8 minutes and I'm running 12 minutes and you catch up to me, like I'm not going to enjoy that. So I want to my goal at this point is just to not let them catch up to me. So I passed like 3 miles. Like my little app congratulated me on running the 5K. Like, and I'm like, and I'm going, and then there's
Did you run the whole thing?
I mean, most of it, but
that's
like,
impressive.
But like, I'm, at this point where I'm on a long stretch of road and I think to myself, if those idiots come around the corner back there and they see me down here, cause I mean, it's like a mile visible, like I'll never live it down. So I pushed myself to get around the next bend so they couldn't see me. And I'm thinking, well, surely the Orvis Lodge is going to be right there around that bend. And then I get around that bend and there's this huge long hill. Same thing. I get halfway up the hill. I'm going, these idiots are going to come around that corner. And I kept going and where is Orvis? I don't even remember this hill. And I just keep going. And then next thing I know, I'm like, I'm at like, and I'm like mad under my breath. I'm like, I knew it wasn't 2.5 miles. That just felt like 4 miles, idiot. And so then I finally get around this other bend and there's like another long stretch. And I was like, this is crazy. And I pulled up and I remembered I had the address in an email. So I pulled up the address and I Google mapped it and the lodge was 3.5 miles back. I ran right past it. And so then I was like, well, I got to come back. And I tried to text one of the guys. I'm like, hey, I'm okay. I know where I am now, blah, blah, blah. I'm coming back. And so I had run 8.5 miles and then they came and got me.
I mean, good for you. But you guys are doing like basically.
Yeah, but I was going to say, he ended up running more than all of us.
But
serious.
But my legs are, I just woken up. I had no water, no food. I didn't stretch. I didn't stretch after. The next day I'm on a plane all day. My legs are like.
You guys have an interesting, both of you. Jesse's basically running for his life, and Cameron is
Forrest Gumped it.
Yeah, and Cameron is just running into the wilderness.
But see, fear factor. The only thing that kept me going was not wanting these idiots to come around the corner back there and see me. So I just kept going to hide from them.
Yeah.
Had we not called, Cameron would be still running through Montana right now. Just knowing right around the corner was the lodge.
Just around the corner.
Because the thing is, like, obviously he's got the ability to run. It's just developing the context for what the distances are. Like to know
that's kind of good, Cameron, because you're just gonna have to do that like 3 times for the race, right? The hood to coast.
Yeah, somewhere around 5 to 8 are the legs.
You just need someone every once in a while to pop in and say, "We don't know where we're at. Keep going. We're lost." And for Jesse, they just need to release an animal.
Release dogs.
And just like get on it, Jesse.
But what was so funny to me is like they thought because they were attacked by dogs. They thought, well, one just picked me off because I was by myself.
Well, so it was either that or he was like treed. Like an animal that gets run up a tree and it's just waiting it out up there. Like that, it's like that episode of Black Mirror, where the lady has nowhere else to go. She just runs up a tree to escape a dog and just kind of has to wait it out. That's what we assumed had happened. And again, we were going to be forced to wait till nightfall.
I wish you'd have seen Cameron up in a tree. I would have enjoyed that. That story would have been so enjoyable.
I'm just waving my little scarf, trying to flag down any truckers or anybody.
Yeah, I'm like, why is that woman waving a moo-moo in the air in the distance? Well, on so many levels, then I guess I could say I'm glad you guys are back.
Yeah, for real.
We did not know we were so close to having Cohen and Dana on the show. It would have been really something.
It'd been a fun dynamic.
That'd be great.
Hey, moving the show along, it's time for our weekly look back at what happened in culture and entertainment. It's time for
In case you missed it.
Hey, in case you missed it this week, which Jesse and I missed a lot because we were
we missed
unplugged,
everything.
So we were catching up this morning.
No, you're like the rest of us now.
Yeah. In case you missed it, this week, Lecrae spoke at Willow Creek about his struggle with anxiety and depression. The rapper took the stage with teaching pastor Steve Carter, who is a co-host on the Relevant Sports Podcast.
Yeah, you guys probably know him. Yes, Steve
Honest to
Carter.
God, one of my favorite shows.
I love that guy.
To discuss his latest album, All Things Work Together, but the conversation also turned to his own struggle with anxiety and depression. Lecrae explained how the Bible verse, Romans 8:28, it says, all things work together for good to those who love God, not only inspired his album, but also helped him in a very difficult chapter of his life. Here's the clip.
Let's talk about the title. All things work together. Where's that from?
All things work together, Romans 8:28. I needed, I didn't title it that because I was like, oh yeah, all things work together. I love that verse. It was, I need to believe this verse. And I needed to believe it at that time in my life, so much so that I had to title the album that, to put that stamp down. And as I was just processing what that verse meant to me, you know, I was going through a lot, and just the idea or the reality of just kind of like, if I said, hey, if I give you a stick of butter and I give you some flour and I give you some raw eggs and I say, y'all eat that and enjoy it, you wouldn't enjoy that in and of themselves, but something happens when you mix them together and let them be refined under the heat. You get something good like cake or cookies. And what I needed to know in the same way was that if I took my tears, if I took my depression, if I took my anxiety and my fear and my hurt and I mixed it together, that God could refine that and make something good out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, Lecrae earlier this week is we're starting to release some very cryptic like videos and things on his Twitter and stuff, kind of foreshadowing what's next. He's very exciting. I love that guy.
Thought Steve Carter. Steve Carter led that conversation so well. I was really so impressed.
That guy is salt of the earth. He is like a very sweet, good person who like. It's
like you feel like you're watching this conversation that at the start they know there is people watching. They know there are people watching. And as the conversation progresses, it starts getting like they forget that other people are there.
Right.
Which is
when it gets really great and also kind of crazy because you're like, oh, I just said that. In front of a lot of people.
Well, the other thing too is like, and I know we've talked about it before, and he's talked with us about it, but how like open Lecrae has been with not only like good stuff but bad stuff, like struggles, which is really refreshing for an artist of his stature to be like totally frank about, you know, struggles that a lot of people deal with, but a lot of people that might be in his position, especially in like kind of Christian culture, you know, thinks it's kind of taboo to talk about if you're a leader. But it's great to see him.
Why'd you say taboo like that? Taboo.
That's how it's pronounced. Taboo. Yeah. It's got a little
accent over the second O.
Jesse pronounces it with 7
You've never
O's
seen the board game, Cameron? It has the symbol over, meaning it's taboo.
Hey, in case you missed it this week, Terry Crews spoke out about the dangers of the cult of masculinity while on The Daily Show. The actor, who's an outspoken Christian and featured in our magazine, 3 issues ago?
Very strong.
Yeah,
literally a very strong Christian and a very strong human.
Yeah. Strong, Christian and strong Christian.
Right.
You put the comma anywhere, it works with him.
You could put commas anywhere and it works for Terry Crews. He recently visited the late night show to discuss the return of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and to promote his new film Deadpool 2, but the conversation turned to his sexual abuse. Last year, Terry came forward and said his former agent, Adam Vinnett, groped him against his will in 2016. His voice became a prominent one in the Me Too movement against sexual assault. However, he explained that he faced criticism for speaking out, partly because of what he called culture's cult of masculinity that prevents men from raising their voices about assault. Here's a clip.
When my story broke, it allowed people to see their own, like the times their lines got stepped on. Right, you understand what I mean? Because this is the thing. You get tricked into thinking it's part of the job. You know what I mean? Right. Somebody really crosses the line, you know, and it's really weird because when I look at like things like fraternity hazing, what they are a lot of times is sexual assault masked as something else. And it's wild because it's about power. It's never about, you know, sex or anything like that. It's about someone trying to dominate you and take over you or show off. He
has become such an outspoken proponent for this discussion and to break kind of the veil of.
It's so much respect for anyone who speaks up and is that brave and has that kind of platform and talks about it. It's just so many people I'm sure have been helped by his bravery
and bravery in this conversation. And then previous, I mean, like in our magazine, he talked about his addiction to pornography and his sexual addictions and stuff and the effect it had on his marriage and ultimately his faith. And I mean, the man he's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, just really transparent.
It's really not what you would expect that somebody as, macho or masculine as him would also be as vulnerable and transparent as him. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something particularly powerful about the way he's cultivated his image. Obviously, there's a degree of self-awareness, but I mean, everyone like Terry Crews, from going back to the Old Spice commercials, part of his persona is that he is super tough, hyper masculine and, just like a big, tough dude. And for him to, in real life, to show how vulnerable he is about things that a lot of people have a discomfort in talking about, whether it's personal struggles with something like porn or, being the survivor of abuse. It's a powerful thing to see in culture. And the fact that, he's on a press tour right now for an action movie, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But he's taking time out of his press rounds to talk about something serious. I think that's an impressive thing and a really positive thing.
Hey, in case you missed it, CNN anchor Jake Tapper gave a powerful speech to college students about the dangers of being cruel to people who think differently than you. While delivering the commencement speech to graduates at the University of Massachusetts, the TV journalist encouraged students to seek out information and news that challenges their own ideas and be open to other people's opinions and ideas.
It's 2 shows a week that equals up to the same amount of time. What does it matter?
He also directly addressed the tendency for people to resort to meanness and cruelty while debating issues online, explaining that, quote, the hard-hearted are compensating for emptiness. Here's a clip of his speech.
We all fall victim to believing what we want to believe and ignoring the evidence. But the truth is seldom as stark as we want it to be. At this time, when this country has groups of people, tribes of people siloing themselves off and only listening to the politicians or the news media, and in some cases, the members of their family or their friends with whom they agree, I urge you to resist the temptation to subject yourself only to that which reaffirms what you already think. Use the critical thinking skills you just spent 4 years developing. I urge you to read the story. I urge you to think for yourself. I urge you to click the link. Being callous or being mean can sometimes seem like a way to project confidence. But what it really does is convey to people who know better the exact opposite. The shock of cruelty can be amusing when you're in your teens or your 20s. You get older and you realize that the hard-hearted are compensating for an emptiness. Choose not to take that path.
I'm a fan of Jake Tapper.
Yeah, well, now I can't make any more jokes. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I think the impulse there is let's just, talk about the elephant in the room. He has been, in the network he works for, has been a target of the president, who frequently resorts to vitriol when addressing people he sees as ideological opponents. But, in this speech, he's challenging those college students, to read other things other than CNN. Read things. If you're conservative, read liberal sites. If you're liberal, read conservative sites, and do it with an open mind. So I think it's easy just to say, well, this is like a clapback, or this is some sort of subtle, jab. But really, it seemed like an earnest thing of listen to other people's ideas. That's important. But also, don't be a jerk. Just in general, that doesn't do anything. That all that does is hurt, conversation.
And lastly, in case you missed it, this week, Katy Perry told an American Idol contestant that he was anointed. Michael J. Woodward made a serious impression on the judges during a recent performance of the song Still I Rise by Yolanda Adams. During the song, the camera panned over to the judges, and pop star Katy Perry openly wept. After the song concluded, Perry, who has been open about her Christian upbringing in the past, told him, "You're anointed. I thought I had my emotions removed. It's so beautiful what I just saw." Woodward grew up in a Christian household. Actually, I read that all of the finalists on American Idol this season are outspoken Christians.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't stayed up with the season, but apparently they all are. Yeah.
I thought American Idol was canceled.
It
came back.
In case you missed it.
And
It's on a new network.
two of them are like in love. Two of the finalists like love each other, right?
Oh wow,
salacious!
It's like so cute.
This is a Pure Flix film waiting to happen.
Real.
Two church going kids go on a singing show and fall in love this season.
That's
on
it.
Pure. Yeah,
That's what happened.
It's called
starring weirdly. So what's the guy who played Hercules? What's his
Eddie Murphy.
No. This is worth getting to.
Yeah,
What?
I've got
Sabo?
Yeah. What's it? First name Sabo. Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo. Weirdly,
that was worth
weirdly,
Don't take a second
Kevin
of that
Sorbo has been cast as a 17-year-old Christian worship leader from Topeka. They can do wonders with makeup. They've done nothing to age him down. It's just Kevin Sorbo playing a 17-year-old.
And it's one of the Baldwins, but not the one you won. It's the other one. No, not that one that was in Backdraft. The other one.
Here's a clip of Michael Woodward's performance of "Still I Rise" on American Idol.
Shortest sentence you can say.
Oh my gosh. Jess, I'm really offended there's no in case you missed it at all about the royal wedding.
Yeah, seriously.
Not one thing.
It was on Saturday.
That was intentional. That was very
I know.
intentional.
I'm offended. It was so worth
There's
talking
nothing
about.
left to say. There's nothing left to say. I mean, okay.
Well, there was a prayer that made the Christian Twitter. Wasn't there some prayer that caught some flack?
No.
The sermon.
There was
The sermon was amazing, Cameron.
The head of the American Episcopal Church from Chicago got up there and gave when we would watch it, we would be like, yeah, that was a great sermon. But like when you're sitting in whatever St. George's Chapel and the Queen is watching, it really looked like he was setting fire to the place. It was amazing.
It was awesome.
Because it was just like a really beautiful sermon about like, what is it to love? But he was like animated and fiery and he preached, like he really preached. And my favorite part was that they would keep cutting to the Queen and it was just stoic. Everybody, because it's just like they don't react, and it was just amazing to watch. But it was a beautiful sermon. It was.
But the Queen is like apparently like really serious about her faith. I don't know about the ones under her, but the Queen is really serious about it. But yes, everybody's face was so stoic.
Oh man!
But he even looked at Harry and Meghan and said like brother, sister, like talked right to them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was very human. The whole thing was very human, but. His sermon was like what you'd see at a church any Sunday. I thought it was great.
It was incredible.
I was distracted by two things. One, I'm thinking, who's paying for this? The taxpayers paying for this. Don't tread on me. Don't make me pay for this. I'm great.
The taxpayers only pay for security. You know that.
No. What?
Yes. The taxpayers.
Who pays for the wedding?
The royal family.
Well, out of
how does the royal
where does their
family
money
get
come
paid?
from?
Well, they just have money. They just have endless money. I'm
Yeah,
saying
that's how it
they
works.
just
That's
have
how it
all the
works.
money they
So-
need.
so
They
all
just
I'm
make
thinking
it.
They just make money.
Yeah.
All
They
I'm thinking
create
is
it,
who's
print
paying
it.
for this charade? Who's paying for this charade? And two, the ridiculous hats. Let's not pretend those hats don't look preposterous. Okay?
Preposterous?
They're called
What are you, 11?
fascinators.
Taboo.
They're called
They
They
say
are
that.
called fascinators. You're right, Jesse.
Those hats are called fascinators. How pretentious. Who do you think you are, royal family? Wearing a hat called a fascinator, requiring fascinators being worn. They're ridiculous. They're little khaki hats with feathers
Wrong.
poking out. Can we just agree they're absurd? Like, let's
No,
just
we
all
cannot
say,
agree on that.
let's
No.
pretend, let's no longer pretend that it's not absurd looking at those hats the whole time. It's ridiculous. It distracted me from the sermon and all the accolades.
I saw no pictures, no coverage. I have no clue about any of it.
It was a beautiful wedding, mostly because of what Meghan brought to it. There was like this incredible choir that did like, was it Stand By Me?
Stand by me.
Stand By Me. That just
Stand By Me.
But it was like a gospel choir, and they like did it. It was really like it was the two cultures just sitting together in this moment, and it was pretty cool to watch. Actually, it was way more entertaining
really
than any other royal wedding.
Let them eat cake, Eddie. Meanwhile, there's probably potholes all throughout London that need to be repaired. Yet they're just living it up on the people's money. I didn't like it
Jesse.
one little bit.
I was up at 6 a.m.
It is so good. There is literally nothing else that I can't think of another thing. Y'all correct me. You don't hesitate to correct me if I'm wrong. There is not another thing that is just pure enjoyment. That's not competition. That's not Olympics. That's just pure enjoyment that is watched worldwide. This is just fun that the whole world got to experience together.
I agree.
I can name something.
I borrowed one of Cameron's
Go.
scarves, and I sat there at 6 a.m. and I just had quite a time. I didn't let any of my daughters in the room. This was daddy's time.
I can name something.
Go,
Black
Jesse, no way.
Panther. It was awesome. The whole world saw Black Panther. While I was flying, we already
What is
known
wrong
everyone in the
with you?
world seen Black Panther. I'm walking through the plane. People are watching Black Panther again on their screens. You know who paid for that? Capitalism. Not the queen. Not the queen's money that she's leeching off the people. That's an example. If they want a wedding, that's fine. Charge tickets, make some money, generate revenue.
charge
Don't
people
take
to
the money
come.
from the people. Don't make them.
George
Don't take the money.
Clooney would have never paid to go, but he did go.
Just let him
He
go.
could have.
Just don't interrupt.
He had the
He's just
means.
going to
He
nip
had
at
the
your
means.
heels until
He
you
had
jump in the
because
truck.
he's a movie star. He understands how business works. Not
Oh, my goodness.
I loved
leeching
every
off
minute of it.
leeching
All
off
right,
the people.
that'll do it for In Case You Missed It. Stay tuned. Up next, Aubrey Plaza joins us.
Above, below, under lonely star, head to toe, hand in hand. It gets a whole lot better. Your telephone rings at night. Would you put some time aside to shut your eyes and fall apart under the light of a lonely star? My one and only lonely star.
You're listening to Shaky Graves. The song is Mansion Door. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard For King and Country with their new single, Joy. Aubrey Plaza is known for her roles in films like Safety Not Guaranteed and Ingrid Goes West, and TV shows Parks and Rec and the new season of Legion. Like many of her projects, the critically acclaimed Legion deals with mental health and characters who defy the stigma around struggles with mental illness. We recently spoke with Aubrey about her career, Legion, and why she chooses the role she does. Here is Aubrey Plaza.
I am curious about how you were sold on Legion, or like how you were pitched on Legion, because it seems like a really hard show to convince somebody that it's going to work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It was a very strange casting process. I went in to meet for the show in general, and I assumed after reading the pilot script that I was going to be auditioning for the lead female role of Sid. And after I met with Noah once, he asked to meet with me again, and we had coffee, and over coffee he just pitched to me the idea of playing Lenny Busker, which in the pilot was written for a man. So, of course, I didn't read the pilot thinking of that part in mind. And I kind of, my reaction to that was like, I'm not sure I want to play the middle-aged, drug addict that's kind of like a side character in the mental hospital. But thanks. And then he kind of was like, well, actually, there's a lot more to Lenny, and he gave me the broad strokes of what happened to Lenny in the first season, and kind of revealed to me that, which I guess I can say now, that Lenny kind of transforms into the Shadow King, which is ultimately the villain of the show. And so that sounded very appealing to me. And I was like, that sounds really fun and complicated, and I am totally down to do it. And it's true that it wasn't an audition, so it was kind of a leap of faith on both of our parts, because I don't know what he thought I was going to do with the role. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it until I kind of dived into it. But I think it became kind of a collaboration because he switched the gender, so he kind of had to change that part and kind of, let it evolve based on what I was doing. So it became kind of it felt almost at times like performance art, or, it felt very kind of experimental, and that really continues on in the second season in a different way, but in the same spirit.
You said that you weren't like at first sure about Lenny, which is super understandable because it was written for like a guy at first. But what like when you get a script or when you're pitched on a project, what are you looking for? Like, what things stand out to you as like, this is what I want to do? Well,
I would say the script has to be great. I'm very picky, and I only want to work with filmmakers and writers and directors that I really believe in. Mm-hmm. So I think it first and foremost it's just the people and the writing, and with this show I had seen Fargo. I knew a little bit about Noah Hawley, and I was a fan of his, and I love the writing of the script, so that all checked off for me. And then it really comes down to the part, and I guess when I'm looking for anything, it's just I guess the more complicated the part, the better for me. I'm really attracted to characters that have a lot of depth and a lot of complexity, and I'm not interested in playing one-dimensional characters. So a lot of times that ends up being the villain, but I think because you kind of have to dig deeper and try to justify their behavior in a way that you don't have to with the heroes of the world.
I've been thinking a little bit about the way that we portray like mental health in film and in TV, and your roles have come up a lot actually in that, just based on like Ingrid Goes West, Legion, obviously, and even some of the like lighter stuff in Parks. Like it feels like there is like a psychological, like your characters often aren't like super psychologically normative or psychologically typical. And you're right that often means that they end up being the bad guy. But I also like, it seems like a lot of times you find a way to make them at least sympathetic, if not necessarily heroic.
Thank you. Definitely, that's my goal. I mean, I think that for me, it's always trying to find the human kind of relatable side of those characters. And all I have really to work with is myself and my own life experience and my own memories and my own approach on and take on the world. So I think even if a character does things that I would never do, I still try to find ways to be compassionate towards the characters and to understand where they're coming from, and I try to do that in everything I do, because I think that's kind of the point of acting in a way.
You've been surrounded by a lot of great writers. You've been in a lot of really good projects. What do you think, like between coming in and starting working as an actor to now, what do you feel like are some of the things you've had to learn that have changed your like expectations about what this life would even look like?
I guess I've learned, I mean, I've been so lucky to work on shows and movies with such amazing people. And I think being on Parks and Recreation for so long and working with that group of people taught me a lot. Just taught me a lot about, living in Hollywood and existing in this space. And I think I walked away from that show understanding how you can succeed and also be, a nice, grateful, normal person to people around you. I think there's kind of a lot of negativity that goes on out here, but there are really good people, and there are ways to like have really positive experiences. And it's a lot about just like what you kind of make of it. And I think I don't know. I learned that a lot working with Amy Poehler, and just how to be a leader, and how you can influence everyone on set and influence the crew and inspire people. And I took that with me on a lot of the movies that I did on my breaks, because movie sets especially can get really hectic and really toxic really fast. And I think I still struggle to find balance in my life, but I've learned from a lot of people too that you can't tie your happiness up into work at all times, and whether you're working or whether your work is succeeding or not. And it's like it becomes like a drug, fame and success, and it just becomes intoxicating. And if you let it get out of control, then you're kind of doomed. So I try to remember to have a life and stay connected with my friends, my old friends, people that I grew up with, and just stay grounded as much as I can.
That was Aubrey Plaza. Stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
Getting better. You still act the same way that you did before you met me. You still act the same way that you did before you let me. If you don't feel the same, I still love you, babe. Please don't play these games. Play to know the blame.
You're listening to Tashiana Hazel. The song is Can't Help But Notice. Well, it's time for your feedback. Last week on the show, we got talking about a couple of childhood instances that maybe scarred us. And then we got talking about things that happened in our childhoods, or somebody like a teacher or something that happened or was said that really impacted us in a positive way. And it's like those moments that you'll never forget, but for good. So we wanted to know, for the question of the week, your stories of someone, something that someone said to you as a child that had a positive impact on you as an adult. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
Cameron, we've had, I feel like while in Montana, a lot of emotional conversations this week. I don't know how much deeper I can dig here, but, what's that?
I said I avoided most of those. There was one day we were out on the trucks. There were like 3 trucks going. We were going to go out to the range and do some shooting, and we pulled up to the trucks, and we were all going to get out and, just get those bombs. I bought some tannerite, we're going to explode some tannerite, and all this stuff. And Brian comes back up to the truck and he's like, I think we're just going to go ahead and push on. The third truck's back there praying. We're like, oh, okay. So I mean, yeah, there were those moments.
Love that.
There were those campfire conversations,
Yeah. So if I see unmoved by them, I have reached my
your emotional capacity.
My emotional capacity for the next, I would say probably 12 to 14 months of anything sentimental. So
that's never going to work being friends with me, bud.
If I sound a little cold while reading them, then you'll know why. But I will give it my best reading some of these moving stories. David Blair. Okay.
Oh, that's the exact same one I like too. First, go Jesse, go.
Okay. David Blair. The reason I'm reading it, to be honest with you,
because you thought it said David Blaine.
Yeah,
it sounds a lot like David Blaine. I thought, holy cow,
You're like, David Blaine wrote in.
I'm tired. I got in at 2:30 in the morning thanks to our pilot Jerry
Chuckles.
Seinfeld last night, and I'm so in delirium that I read this as David Blaine. I thought he was going to tell us the origin of his magic, and someone that maybe a young David Copperfield saw him one time and instilled some. Instead, it's David Blair, who's an engineer, which it's. Sorry, David Blair. It's not nearly as cool as the David Copperfield story.
That was really the preface of all prefaces there, Jesse. You keep going,
You do have a panache for the preface, but that preface...
that was a special
That was a
one.
very tired, I haven't got much sleep preface.
Yeah, that was just some time
I kind of trailed off there again. I was thinking about David Blaine. He's probably he's probably locked in some cube of ice somewhere. You're too busy for shenanigans like this. Okay, his mom's comments about a dinosaur he drew on his homework when he was 6. He said it really defined my mentality for my profession today. He said it wasn't a really particularly great dinosaur. It was a standard T-Rex facing to the left, mouth open, and his tail was trailing to the right. I think we can all picture this. But since I picture like Throgdor from the old Homestar Runner cartoon. Eddie, you got the reference.
Oh yeah, I may be the only one, but I really enjoyed it. So thank you. Podcast of one.
But since he was a kid, he hadn't planned ahead. And so when he got to draw the tail, he ran out of room. And so he decided that instead of just like making the tail run off the page, he would curl it around back to the top and it went all around the page as a figure out a way to fit this T-Rex tail on there. His mom was so blown away that she told him he had a gift for envisioning things and using what he had in front of me to come up with an artful solution. AE 99% of what he now does in his engineering career. He ends it by thanks, Mom. So David Blair, what a great story. I still don't think it was be as good as David Blaine's, but thank you for writing that.
I like Michael Murphy. He said when he was 17, he was stealing from where he worked. He said, I didn't care what it was. I was just addicted to the thrill of walking out the door and not getting caught. And eventually I did get caught. And that particular day, my dad was coming to pick me up. He had to tell him what had happened. And on the way out of the building, the police were walking him out and his dad had his head down. And the cop goes, look how ashamed of you your dad is. And his dad looked up without missing a beat and go, what he did was wrong, but there will never be a day that I'm ashamed of my son.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, I've never felt that kind of love and conviction at the same time. That was such a defining pivot point in my life that it stopped me from continuing down that road. I don't even know what my life would look like had that not happened.
Wow. And from that, after that day, I committed myself to the art of street magic.
That's why I was literally about to say, I want to make a joke right now because I'm actually kind of moved, but I didn't have time because Jesse needed to go ahead and talk about street magic. Jesse, get your joke ready. Here's another one. Scott Corin. Dr. Greenwood was the reading support specialist at my middle school and taught me in 7th grade. 7th grade was a bad year for me due to financial issues at home. We had no heat or hot water for part of the winter. I mean, that's real life there. That's very hard. Wow. He continued on by saying, I spent a good portion of January with an upper respiratory infection. Dr. Greenwood was one of the first teachers who showed me genuine concern for my well-being. He also introduced me to Calvin and Hobbes, which I became obsessed with. He was also the first teacher to focus on responding to and analyzing literature. Anyhow, Scott goes on to say he ended up studying English and loves Calvin and Hobbes and is always really respectful of this teacher. Like, look at that. Just really cared about him. Jesse,
for the rest of that summer, the rest of that summer, I hung upside down in an above-ground pool for more than 12 hours a day in preparation for the greatest illusion the world would ever see. What a story! What a story! Pouring his heart out, pouring the heart out, man. And that's the point where I jammed an ice pick through the webbing of my finger in front of Harrison Ford and was removed from his home. Wow.
Just terrible.
Scott, I apologize on behalf of Jesse and behalf of all of us. That was a beautiful story. You deserve better.
There are so many sweet ones of teachers who, I mean, it's more than we can keep up with, but there's so many of teachers who just said, like y'all told the stories last week, Jesse and Cameron, of a teacher who just said one thing that absolutely changed people's lives. It's so incredible.
Okay, this one is from Anna, and she said, I had a rough start to my nursing career. After a few months in the adult ICU, I started in and was encouraged, quote, to take my talents to a less, quote, intense part of the hospital. So that was obviously pretty devastating. As I tried to sneak out that day, humiliated in tears, one nurse, I wish I could remember her name,
Ratchet,
called me and told me, for what it's worth, I think you will be a great ICU nurse that day. It took 2 years, but she improved her skills and has been a pediatric ICU nurse for 15 years. And if she hadn't said that, I may never have tried again.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
And that day, a mysterious man came in with an injury. That's
terrible.
An injury.
He obtained while attempting to sit in a chamber of fire for over a week straight, and she cared for him. And look now, the world wouldn't have
David Blaine.
David Blair.
So all of these stories have an odd connection. I think it's his greatest trick yet.
They try to
infiltrating this week's question of the week. How
Okay, you got me good on that.
he
You
do
got me
it?
good on that.
How did he do it?
Yeah. That nurse handed her an orange, and when she peeled that orange,
Talk about
her
the,
phone
talk
number
about
was
the
inside
long
of it.
con. This trick has been in the works for years. He's been waiting for us to ask this question of the week for years now, and I'm blown away. Well done, David.
Yeah.
Well done.
Most of our
We
answers
have
had to do
no
with,
idea the origins of your sorcery, but we continue to be impressed.
most of them had to do with people trying to catch bullets and stuff. So it was a really impressive.
Yeah, a man came into the ICU after another failed bullet catch. Thankfully, we were able to revive him, and he was able to perform it in hyper slow-mo. What a story. What a story.
Boy. All right. Well, there's a lot more stories where
Thank you
those
for
came from.
trusting us with your stories. I really feel like we did a great job with them. You're welcome.
I really think people should go read them because they're
Yeah.
really sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, you really should.
Yeah.
Okay. And now it's time for this week's.
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. So, in case you missed it, there was a wedding this week.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Thank
mine.
you.
But there was a wedding.
Cash, don't make it weird. Just keep going. Just stick to this real story.
So Jesse was largely unimpressed with the royal wedding. He said he was a real snore. And so we
Here's the
want to
thing,
know
if there's something called a fascinator that's involved in the wedding,
Yeah.
that better be some cool role of a
better be
person.
fascinating.
That
Like a
better be
court
part of the
jester.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the fascinator. No, it's a fancy hat. What? It's a bait and switch, is what that is. I tuned in for the fascinator only to find out once the wedding had concluded. I'm waiting the whole time for this fascinator to show up, and it's a fancy hat.
All right. So for this week's question of the week, we want to know a story from a wedding you attended.
Yeah.
Of something funny that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Something memorable, something that was not planned.
I've been to probably more weddings than anyone, and I think I've seen it all. Like,
What's the craziest thing you've seen? Give us one.
Well, I think my favorite entrance ever to a wedding was I'm up because I think I've officiated at this point. I think I've officiated 62 weddings. I think that was the last one I officiated. So I was up there in the front.
That's a lot.
And we were standing. It is a lot. We were standing in front of the lake, and they all entered via speedboat from behind me.
What?
And
Did it go off without a hitch?
Oh, boy.
I would expect that from
Well
Jesse,
done.
but not from you. I would expect more from you. I think that was my favorite.
One time, Eddie, I went to a wake that involved speedboats.
Oh, no.
You know what? Let's just
I sound
move
like
on.
that pilot.
This is
That's when the pilot
Yeah,
told me
that's a
last night.
pilot
It was
joke. That's a
horrible.
pilot
It was
joke for
terrible.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
want to know your funniest or most, something funny, something that made an epic wedding memory.
Yeah.
Like if there's an actual fascinator there, things like that,
Right.
or somebody fell down.
I'm going to start wearing a fascinator every week that we record.
But just smaller and smaller every week until it's just like a little thimble on your head.
a little Peter Pan thimble.
That's right.
Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post your longer stories on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
I think my 63rd wedding is going to be. He hasn't asked yet, but
Oh, Chandler?
you can't see me pointing, but I was pointing.
Definitely
to
going to be pulling up on a boat.
Yeah, definitely. I would really do a heck of a
pontoon
job with
boat, a
yours.
very
Let's
elaborate
just do it
pontoon
on a
boat.
pontoon.
Yeah, no big
And
deal.
everyone
do
else
the whole
be in
thing on a
pontoons
pontoon
around.
boat.
Just
Yeah.
going down the St. John's River, no big deal. Just chilling.
Just a whole
right.
fleet of pontoons.
Yeah,
That's
Wakaiva Island. Keep it classy. It'll be
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice.
Like we're going
So,
to
People don't
you,
get that.
Cameron, you're talking about
pontoon
a pontoon platoon.
I am.
Pontoon.
That's amazing how fast that happened in your head, Jesse.
It's pontoons.
Yeah, he's the funniest guy that guy on your trip has ever met, or whatever.
He's the funniest guy Trent Dabbs ever met.
Trent Dabbs is funniest.
Dude.
Just because I don't know who Trent is doesn't mean anything. I don't know anything.
Well, he's the Sugar and the High-Lows is one of
That I
our
know.
favorite bands. He's the guy in Sugar and the High-Lows.
That's cool.
And he's done.
He
and he's
also
a
put
solo
together
artist.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. He's a great solo artist. But now like he was telling some of the artists he's working with and songwriting and stuff. It's crazy. I mean, again, he wrote High Horse from Casey Musgraves. It's a huge hit right now.
Nicki Minaj.
Eddie, he was at the SNL after party last week because
he went to SNL because Casey Musgraves was the musical guest last week, so he was there because she was performing his song.
That's nuts.
And
Did he tell you all about the after party?
Yeah, he told me about the after party.
Tell me what you can tell me.
Let's have Trent on. I think that's the right move.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to steal his thunder.
You know I feel
Steal
about
his thunder.
SNL. I want to hear.
But we have a few friends that have been deep in SNL, and they're usually pretty hush hush about it.
Yeah.
Like Andy, we just won't talk about it on the air, which I understand.
Yep. Hey, many thanks to Aubrey Plaza for joining us. You can check her out on the latest season of Legion, which is on right now.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to check out the cover story in the current issue of Relevant with her, you can pick up issues at newsstands nationwide, and you can also view the entire issue at relevantmagazine.com. Hey, while you're there, maybe subscribe. You like it and help us keep the lights on.
Absolutely.
Cool.
We got a good one. We got a good one in the cooker right now. It's still baking a little.
We're about to go to print. We are about to go to print with the July issue of Relevant. And while we were in Montana, all the plans, we're going to print. Like, we work on an issue for up to 4 months.
Yeah.
We were a week away from going to the printer. And we decided to change the cover story because of something that came together, and it is incredible what's happening in the next issue of Relevant.
Because it's my birthday month?
Uh-huh.
Is that why you changed the cover?
And the old cover story it's very sad.
The true story of the Fascinator. It is. It's a must read.
That's what the F stands for in Annie F. Downs. Fascinator.
David Blaine's the guest editor is what we're trying to say. David Blaine's ready to the next issue of Relevant. Yeah.
It's a lot of really unsettling stories from his childhood, but it's a weird turn for us, but we're proud of this.
But you got to hang with David Blaine. That's all
when
you
the
ever
opportunity
really
arises, you take it.
So before we wrap it up, I want to give you a little preview of Friday's edition that's coming up in a couple days that you won't want to miss. Our special guest on that show is Mr. Max Lucado.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you heard a little Aubrey Plaza, little Max Lucado.
I don't want to listen.
That's the range.
I don't want 2 podcasts. I want to put them together.
So make sure to tune in on Friday for the next edition of the Relevant Podcast. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Annie F. Downs.
We'll see you on Friday.
Feels like it's never gonna. Gotta get that fire back in my bones before my heart turns into stone. So when somebody please pass the megaphone, I'll shout it on the count of 3.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
They've done nothing to age him down. It's just Kevin Sorbo playing a 17-year-old.
Relevant Podcast Network.